to another episode of Daily Hustle. This is episode number 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think so. That's right. Yeah. Anyways, I'm here with my good friend Chelsea Gagnon. Welcome. Thanks for being a guest on the show. Now, Chelsea is a very special guest because she's our first guest who is going to highlight a condition that she has been experiencing for the past 30 years. And that is cystic fibrosis. In case you didn't know what that is, I had no idea what it was. When I first met her, I thought, why is she coughing aimlessly? What the heck? What's going on here? Who let her in the gym? And then I came to learn that she actually has a condition that she's been suffering with for a number of years. So Chelsea's here to tell her story a little bit. We're going to talk to her a bit more about how she handles it, especially when it comes to fitness, her everyday lifestyle, and to create some awareness about cystic fibrosis, because it's very important that people learn more about this condition so that they're not freaked out when they meet a person who does have this condition. So Chelsea, welcome again.
Thank you.
I really appreciate you coming on here. So tell us a bit about your history with CF.
So I was diagnosed at birth. So I had surgery on the day that I was born. I don't remember it, but it was probably traumatic for my parents or them. And throughout my childhood, I had to do treatments in the morning and the evening. And I just thought that was normal for every kid. And I also take pills when I eat, and pills in the morning, and pills at night. And I just thought all these things were normal. And then as I got older, I guess I realized my brothers didn't do it. And then in school, no one else did it. So in school, I stopped taking my pills, or I would hide them and throw them in the garbage because I don't want to be different. Anyways, all this just to say that cystic fibrosis, what it actually is, it's a cellular malfunction. So first of all, it's genetic. You can't catch it. So when you hear me coughing in the gym or wherever, I know it's normal to freak out, but my cough, you're not going to catch anything.
Okay.
So it's a cellular malfunction, and what's wrong is that the salt in my body doesn't travel properly.
Okay.
So anywhere where there's mucus, the most affected part of the body is lungs in CF. Mucus builds up, and that's bad because there's no space for air. And then as a secondary effect, that's a really good host for a lot of bacteria, viruses, germs, etc. So over time, it's progressive, it gets worse. So when I was younger, I wasn't as sick as I am now. But my lungs fill up with mucus. The treatments that I was talking about, we do those to get me to cough, to try and expel the mucus, because the less that's in there, in theory, the less bacteria you'll host. But anyways, the bacteria actually causes scarring. So you have the mucus build up, and then you have the scarring of the lung tissue. So over time, your lungs just die. So right now, my lung percentage, if we did like a test, like mine is less than a third of what yours are, because you're an athlete, you work out every day, you don't just sit on the couch, so your lungs are over 100% capacity. Mine are a lot lower than that.
Wow. So if mine are over 100%, let's just say 100, yours would be at 33. Just on a resting day.
Yeah, around there. It goes up and down, it varies, but yeah. But you're probably like way higher.
I'm just guessing.
Jealous.
I'm just guessing. So when you do have those, let's say like a coughing spell, how do you resolve it? Or is there a way to resolve it?
No, it just resolves on its own. We're encouraged to cough to get the mucus out. That's the goal of all physiotherapy in cystic fibrosis up until today. So coughing is really good, even though it scares people away and it's not attractive and all this. But I've never been told to take like a cough suppressant or a cough drop, like when you're sick and you take that stuff. Like for us, that's a big no-no. Never do that. You always want to cough. So I've never had the joy of taking those when you have a cold. But yeah, I just cough all the time, so I have abs all the time, which is the one positive. And I pop pills all the time. Like it's normal. I was gonna say like something else, but I pop pills like a professional.
She means she pops pills.
Oh, they're prescription.
For prescription reasons.
Not because I hate coughing.
Or not just for fun, like some people do.
No, they're to keep me alive.
Okay, that's good. Speaking of keeping it alive, the life expectancy of a person who has CF is usually what?
Currently, life expectancy in Canada is up around 50. Okay. When I was born, it was low 20s. But life expectancy is kind of deceptive because it's not really like a median or a medium. It's you're gonna have people who live above that, and you're gonna have people who live below that. I have a lot of friends who've passed away from CF in their teenage years and in their early 20s. So while the life expectancy has gone up, we still have a lot of premature deaths and people dying way too young. What's that?
I guess that's your...
Oh, that's mine. I just got a new medical device. I'm so sorry. It's telling me that my blood sugar's high.
Oh.
I'm really sorry.
So what's in that water there you had? I thought it was water.
No,
But
it's
maybe
just
it's
water.
soda? You have to do that for your... This is your life we're talking about here. This is very important.
It's this, if the camera can see. Because I also have diabetes, which is brought on because of the mucus in my pancreas. It caused scarring, and my pancreas doesn't create insulin anymore, so I have to do that. So this is just monitoring my blood sugar, and it yelled at me because my blood sugar is
A little bit high, okay.
Anyways.
Now, considering that this has been your life for the past 30 years, do people that you meet, do they feel bad for you? Like, I felt bad for you the first time I met you because I thought, she's coughing and her trainer is just like, okay, you finished? And I thought to myself, what a jerk, man. Shout out to Maddie. But anyways, then I came to learn, he told me after, oh no, she has cystic fibrosis, so this is part of the process. She has to cough to get rid of the mucus, and it's all like necessary.
It's all good.
Do people actually feel bad for you when they like see you coughing, they hear you coughing?
Yeah, all the time.
Yeah, but like, do you explain to them? Like, do you have a card and you say, by the way, my name is Chelsea, I have
No,
CF?
but that's really smart actually, because one of the most annoying things with CF is that it's one of the diseases that's the closest to being, I won't say cured, but they've developed things within the last few years that are halting the progression of the disease so well.
Okay.
So the more people that know about it, the better, because fundraising will really take us like beyond. For kids that are born today with cystic fibrosis, they're just going to start taking pills and they won't get the lung damage in general that those of us who are older have done. So when I meet someone, they always say to me, oh, I'm so sorry, do you have a cold, or are you contagious, or can you have like, here's a Halls. I get that a lot. So to take the time to say, no, I actually have cystic fibrosis, and 90% of the people don't know what that is, it's frustrating. So maybe I should make cards, because that would be a really good awareness tool.
Or like wear a shirt. You know, like when you meet somebody, right? A woman, for example, and you don't know if she's pregnant or not.
Oh my God.
I'm just giving an example.
Don't say
no,
it.
I'm just saying, but you don't know what to ask. You're like, so hey, are you having a good time? Like, you don't know what to say.
I know I should wear a shirt to the gym.
Ask, do you have CF or do you just have a cold? Like that should be the new question of 2019. Do you have CF or do you have a cold? Can I give you a Halls or pat you on the back?
That would be really good for awareness, yeah.
That actually would be a good idea for awareness. See, we're coming up with ideas all over the place here. Look at that. Chelsea in the building. You know what time it is. Okay. So you come here on a regular basis. You come here, what, 3 times a week?
2, but I also like swim and play hockey.
Okay. So you swim and play hockey, and how does that affect you on the ice and in the water?
So on the ice, whenever we have a new teammate or a sub, they always look really concerned because I'm coughing nonstop when I'm on the bench.
And they got a Halls in their pocket.
They think I'm
like,
dying, and they're like, "Oh my God, are you
This
okay?"
is a commercial moment. Let's give her a Halls.
No. So obviously it's not enjoyable to sit beside me until you're used to it, because I'm just coughing the whole time. It's really hard to be on the ice with such low function, lung function, and coughing is just like a natural, I guess, result of exerting myself.
Right.
And it's good, so I don't want to stop coughing, but for strangers it's obviously a bit jarring. But yeah, at the pool I go and I tell them, because coughing and drowning, before I get in, I say, oh, I have cystic fibrosis, I'm gonna cough.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not drowning most of the time, unless I am. But they just know to look out and that I'm gonna be the annoying sound in the pool.
Okay. Do parents ever come and go like, hey, can you get her out of the pool because she's coughing like around my kid? Or
no.
Because you let them know in advance, like, by the way, this is my condition.
Yeah, I go usually during adult swim also. Okay. But when I used to go to a public gym, not this awesome gym where everyone knows each other, I had people come up to me and say, this is a really good example that really annoyed me as a woman. He came up to me, I was on the treadmill and I was coughing, and he said, I know you're trying to work on your bikini body, but could you do it at home because you're coughing and that's contagious?
Yo,
and I was really, yeah, it was really, there's a lot of things wrong with that guy. But, so now I come here where...
And then you coughed in his face.
No, I didn't, but I should
That's
have.
I would be that guy. I would be like,
Today I would because I'm
jerk.
more like open with it,
Yeah.
but this was like 5 years ago and I didn't, and I was just ashamed. But now I would just cough on him and be like, no, educate yourself. You shouldn't go up to people and ask them things like that. It's really
That's so disrespectful, man. Come on, people. Like, people got illnesses and stuff. Like, what's going on with that? That's.
yeah.
Can you work on your bikini while you're at home? He's just jealous because probably his girlfriend was like a.
Anyways,
I'm not here to insult anybody, so you know what it is. Wow, you had to endure like a lot of. I don't want to say backlash, but I guess kind of like that.
It's a difficult disease because it's invisible. If you look at me, there's nothing wrong with me until you hear me coughing. And then you just think, oh, she has a cold and she's in public, which is annoying. But then if you see like my social media or if you're a close friend, you know that I do go in the hospital a lot. And I often have home IV treatments. So the disease isn't always visible, but when it is, yeah, you can see it. I don't know where I'm going with that, but it's invisible. It's invisible, but then sometimes it is visible, so it's hard because I look normal, but on the inside, my organs are all shriveled up and dying.
Wow, okay. That's pretty intense. But we appreciate you sharing that, though, because, again, the more we know, the better it will be for everybody, so you are not freaked out when you see her coughing or you hear somebody of that nature coughing.
It is the most common genetic illness in Canada.
Is it?
Deadly. Or fatal.
Fatal disease.
So you probably know someone with it, but you just might not know because they're not that open or whatever.
They're a bit ashamed about it, yeah. Listen, if you're out there and you have CF like Chelsea, don't be ashamed about it. It's a condition you have. We all suffer from something, whether it be something that's not visible like CF or even like anxiety.
Kareem suffers from not being funny, so there's that.
I suffer from.
Just kidding. He's a good guy.
I suffer from anxiety. Listen, I have anxiety.
Oh, we're anxiety twins.
I have anxiety. I've had anxiety for a number of years, and even still to today, it still affects me. I go through spells like a lot of other people do. I mean, I don't take medication for it. I just decide activity, being around the right people, changing a perspective helps. Talking to the right people also helps too, and then educating myself about it and other people being educated about it too helps because like stuff like that, like illnesses that are taboo, like mental health. Something like yours would be, it's kind of annoying that we have to always like defend ourselves and say, oh, this is the case and this is the situation, but.
Which is why I try to open the conversation about mental health and invisible illnesses online so that everyone can come to terms with being polite about them when you come upon someone. And
So please be polite to people who have CF. If you know anyone that has cystic fibrosis, please be polite to them or they will cough on you. And I don't think you want that. Just kidding.
Now I have an idea of what to do.
That's your defense. Yeah. Anyways, so a couple times I've seen Matt do this hand thing, which is like a cupping.
Yeah, so it's called clapping.
Oh, it's called clapping.
In Montreal, Quebec. But other places it's called manual chest physiotherapy. So I talked about how I have to do treatments 2 times a day. When I was a baby, my parents, you kind of cup your hand to make space for the air, and you just clap on the lungs to manually try and get the mucus to move. Sorry. So now that I'm older, I have other ways to do it. I have devices, and I don't have to rely on my parents. But when I'm here, already breathing heavily and coughing, I like to maximize that, and my trainer's very helpful. Yeah. Thanks, Matt. Shout
out to Matt Beauchamp, aka Bedhead Benny. Because that guy never brushes his hair. Anyways, I'm kidding. He just had a baby, so he has every reason to not brush his hair. He's a little bit wild right now. But obviously, you've been working with him for a number of years now.
Yeah, like
4 years. Yeah, they've been really instrumental in helping you out and encouraging and welcoming you here at the Loft, which is always a great thing because the last thing you want is to have something wrong or have a condition and they don't welcome you there. Like that guy at whatever gym you were at before who was... kind of an idiot, but whatever, that kind of stuff does happen. Do you have any goals for 2019 as far as creating awareness for people?
Oh my gosh, I love creating awareness. I want to create so much awareness.
Nice.
And like I said, with cystic fibrosis, the research into the disease is so close to like just getting to that point where it'll be a disease that's no longer fatal. So I want to create awareness and also to really help me there's medications that are out on the market, but in Canada they're not yet covered by the federal government or provincial government. Sorry. So that's a big push that we've been doing in the last year is advocacy for that because the cost is a bit high, but we think that it's balanced out by the number of hospitalizations that are reduced and home IV treatments that are reduced and clinic visits. So it's just difficult right now in terms of provincial governments. 3 of the provinces have decided to cover it for kids, so under the age of 18. So we're getting little steps. But if you haven't heard of CF before, and now you have, you can look into rare disease awareness strategies because with science, the way that it's coming, there's never been any strategies or laws in place to say, oh my gosh, a brand new medication has come out, it's amazing and we need to cover it right away. It's never been that way in the past, but now it's going to be coming like super fast, all of these new advancements, and we need to have strategies so that the government doesn't wait a few years and we can get the medication to patients as soon as possible. So
Nice.
that's where we're at right now.
So is there a website that people can go to check that out, or support, donate?
Yeah, but I totally forget right now.
Okay,
so
so-
I'll give you the link after.
Yeah, give me the link after so I can put it in the credits at the end of this. So a couple months ago, you did a speaking event because another trainer I know, Kadeem, was there.
Yeah.
What was that about? How did that go?
That's called Born to Rise, and it was started by Aisha. She's I went to high school with her.
Okay.
And it's just about I guess it's a motivational event, so anyone can go watch it. You can buy tickets. I think they're on sale now.
Okay.
And it's just people who've been through a lot of different things, whether it's with their health or with, say, abuse or any kind of discrimination. And they just talk about their stories about how they've kind of overcome it. And because when you're faced with these challenges, you can choose, like you said, with your anxiety, to let it overcome you, or you can choose to overcome it. So that's what it's about. And it's a really inspirational night. And yeah.
Are you gonna be at the next one?
I don't know. I don't think so. I
Yeah,
haven't.
sure.
I don't know. I didn't think about it, but everyone should go see it. It's really, there's a lot of great people there, like your friend, the trainer.
So it's called Born to Rise.
Yeah.
Okay, Born to Rise. Inspirational nights. I'll get the link to that and I'll put it in the credits as well, so you guys can check it out if you're interested in going to see everyone's story. Is your story anywhere online that people can check out, that they can hear more about your experience?
For Born to Rise or in general?
In general. Or Born to Rise too.
For Born to Rise, there was videos, but I don't know.
Okay.
But you can go follow me on Instagram or Facebook. I try to talk a lot about that there. And also, I just want to say for Born to Rise, Aisha, she's amazing. She started this because a few years ago she was diagnosed with vitiligo.
Okay.
And she decided to, rise above it. And she's done all this on her own, gotten all these people together, and she gets all these people to come see it. So that's really amazing, and I'm always in awe of her every year when she puts it on.
Wow. Yeah. Well, shout out to her, Aisha. Thank you so much for putting together an amazing event like that for people to speak about their experiences, because, like we said, the more people know about conditions that people suffer from or are experiencing right now, the more we're educated about it, the better. Less judgment, because Lord knows people judge out here like crazy. They don't know anything about anybody, and they want to have an opinion, which is never a good thing. It's better to just ask questions, open up conversations like we're doing right now, which gives us an opportunity to learn more about Chelsea's condition, and just learn about cystic fibrosis in general, so that the more people are aware of it, the more we can do things to help out and encourage each other.
Can I say one more thing?
Of course, you can say as many things as you want.
Okay, well, I just want to say with cystic fibrosis, most people, if they're able to live long enough, they get listed for a double lung transplant. Often there's also liver transplant or pancreas, but those are the less often. The real big one is the double lung transplant. So I just want to say to people, please become an organ donor. It's so important. I know a lot of people who unfortunately have passed away while waiting on the waiting list.
Okay.
And a lot of people just don't think about becoming an organ donor, but when you get your Medicare card renewed, there's that little sticker in there, and you can also Google it, and you can just become an organ donor, even if it's not time to renew your Medicare card, and you can help save up to 8 lives, I think.
Wow, that's amazing. So with this lung transplant, like, couldn't you get like an artificial lung, like an iron lung, or like a?
In the future, maybe, but for the moment,
Are you afraid to get scanned at the airport? Like,
at the moment, the only treatment is a double lung transplant. So a lot of diseases you can get one single lung, and that's good. But with cystic fibrosis and the nature of the infections, the new one will just get infected. So you have to get both. And then it's not the greatest survival rate. 5 years out, only 50% of patients are still alive. But with science and technology and medicine advancing, the odds of surviving longer are getting better every year. So it's really great to become an organ donor. You're going to save so many lives. So many of my friends have had transplants, and I'm so grateful. So become an organ donor and make sure your family knows about it, because if they don't, unfortunately, they can always veto what happens after. And no one wants to talk about this. It's really taboo. But it's something that we should talk about, and a lot of countries have automatic, you have to opt out. So you're automatically an organ donor. And we're also trying to push for that in Canada, but a lot of things are trying to push for it. But just think about it, talk about it with your family and your friends.
Yeah, be open to have conversations about things that, any way that you can help people out, especially in a situation like that. That's always fun. So question, let's get off the more morbid stuff. Let's talk about fun stuff. So then, you live your life every day as normal. Like you said, you come, you train, you play hockey, you swim, you jump around, you do all kinds of fun stuff. How has that affected your personal life as far as relationship with your friends, if you have a boyfriend, your family, things like that?
Well, I have the best friends, as you saw from my birthday party, which they designed for me. I'm very lucky. I have great friends. Hi guys, I hope you're watching this to support. If not,
better watch this. Yeah.
No, but I'm very lucky. My family's been very supportive, and I'm able to I don't work anymore because I'm too sick. I would get sick, and it was just so my full-time job is focusing on my health. And I'm really lucky because my mom supports me, my brother supports me, my boyfriend supports me. But there's a lot of people who don't have that support, and in those cases, it's really sad. But my life, I don't work, so it's hard to come to terms with when you're 30 years old and your friends are buying houses and getting married and having babies. And I'm just like, well, I didn't die today, so that's a goal. You just have to change your perspective, and I have a very dark, morbid sense of humor, which is explored in the new movie 5 Feet Apart, which is about cystic fibrosis.
Go check it out.
So much awareness. I'm so happy about that. But yeah, this is my new daily, I guess, and it's obviously something you have to adjust to, but I've come to terms with it. And I got distracted.
Another one longer here. Oh boy, it's all good.
Yeah, so you just gotta adjust, and I'm just grateful that I'm still alive.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I'm just gonna check this because my blood sugar feels off. But please ask me a question. I'm listening.
Well, that's okay. I'm just gonna make sure this thing is still running here because it looks like my screen kind of blocked out. It's okay. I'll just use this part to edit out. Keep recording, please. What the heck's on there? Yeah, we're still on. We're still good. We're still good. So your blood sugar's okay?
Yeah, we're still good.
Positive?
Thank you, technology.
So when that does happen, your blood sugar does end up going higher or low. What do you have to do to offset it to get it back to normal?
So right now it's high, so I should take insulin. When it's low, I have to take sugar. It's just a balancing act. I'm just really grateful that I've got this now, because before I would have to feel if my blood sugar was low, which can be dangerous when you're sleeping.
Yeah.
But now this will alert me on my phone before I even get to feeling that bad. This is very exciting. I just got it, so I'm excited about it, and that's why it beeped during the video. I'm very sorry. I don't know how to work it
Listen,
yet.
if it's gonna save your life here,
it
by
could.
signaling to you that you need to do something about your blood sugar being too high or too low.
I think I just feel off because I'm nervous because we're on camera.
Well, that's why there's an audio version of this too, because
I'm on audio. I'm just a nervous wreck.
There's an audio version of this too, so that in the event that people want to just listen to this segment, they can.
They don't want to see my face.
But I think they will want to see your face because, look, guys, listen. Here's the deal. You never know who's suffering from something.
You got to be empathetic and nice and treat people kindly.
We are both. We all are we are all. I can't even speak right now. Okay, we are all suffering from something. It doesn't matter what it could be. It could be something small. It could be something major. We never know until.
Some people are suffering from being. But those people you do not have to be nice to.
You meant jerks.
I'm not here for like
You meant
bigotry and
jerks.
stuff. I just had to bring that up.
She meant jerks, but it's okay.
Oh darn.
That's okay. It's okay. It's okay. She meant jerks. She meant jerks, guys. She meant jerks.
I'm
It's
so
fine.
sorry.
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
Oh,
Man,
okay.
no, don't worry about it. Don't worry. It's fine.
Okay.
It's fine. It's fine. Some
I
people
made
do
it
suffer
so
from being
far.
jerks. It's what it is, but those people, they're not just jerks because they're jerks. Usually their life, there's something wrong.
Yeah, there's a reason.
There's always a reason, right? So I try to be empathetic to everybody because
That's key. Very
you never
important.
know. You never know who's dealing with what.
Exactly.
Smile at people when you see them walking down the street, even if they don't want to smile back at you. You know, it just might make their day somehow in some small way. You know, don't ask a person if they need a Halls, if they're coughing. I mean, that's a nice thing to do, but just sometimes just leave them alone and just let them cough and, you know, don't look at them with disdain and, oh, it's so gross. You know, like, obviously it's not the situation. Someone might be sick. They might have, I was going to say cerebral palsy, but it's not that. It's cystic fibrosis. Funny thing is, I was so confused. I was telling Chelsea, I didn't know what CF was. At first, I'm thinking multiple sclerosis. But I realized it's two different things, which is, again, another thing that people are suffering from. But anyways, all confusing. All I have to say is
Medical terms.
all these medical terms confusing me, confusing all of us. But at the end of the day, we're all suffering from something, and there's need to raise awareness for it. And the more we can do things like through this audio segment and also through this video, the better we can all be educated and help each other out. So, Chelsea, thank you so much for coming. Really do appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure. I think that education like this is always good. So, one last thing I'm going to ask you before you go.
Okay, I'm nervous.
No, it's not a bad thing. I ask everybody before they go. Now, I need you to think of this answer because when you take too long, I throw the Jeopardy music in there.
I love Jeopardy. I watch every night. Do it.
Okay.
It'll make me really happy.
Okay.
Okay, Alex, let's go.
I'm just saying. Okay. If you were to leave here with one statement that is yours, that's your drop the mic moment, like,
Oh no.
one sentence, what would it be?
Oh gosh.
Here comes.
Where's the music?
It's
Or are
gonna be
you
in the
gonna
back.
put it in the video?
Yeah, it's gonna be in the
Okay,
back.
I love it. I'm just waiting for it. No, I actually don't have anything, so it's helpful.
Oh,
I think
my
you just
goodness.
gotta make your happiness wherever you can. A lot of people always ask me how I'm able to stay so positive. I don't know. Just find little things and try to keep a positive outlook. It's not gonna cure me, but it does help
So
with my
that's-
mental health.
That's
and,
1, 2, 3, 4 sentences. So
well, do you
let's
want
choose
22
one.
more?
Let's choose one.
Okay, I thought I was writing a paragraph.
No, one.
Okay.
You're not the only person who's done this. One interview I did, the guy was like, he's saying all these things, and I'm like, I told you one sentence. He's like, why are you laughing? I said one sentence. That's it. And he finally picked one out of like 22. Like, who's
Okay, so I have to make one sentence.
this Jeopardy music going hard, man? We might have to put it on repeat.
No, but can I have like several commas and like I keep forgetting the grammatical terms when you put.
Well, what do you?
I can say. It
I
in
mean, you
French.
said something
Okay,
about
hold on.
positive perspective. You want to put it in French?
No, because I know the term of the like. Anyways, okay. So one sentence would be, you can't choose to always be happy, but you can choose to try and see the positive in everything.
Okay.
Period.
So.
That
you
was
can't,
one.
No, hold on. You can't choose to be happy.
Because people always say you can choose to be happy, but sometimes you can't.
Okay. So you can't choose to be happy.
Chemically,
You can't choose to be happy, but you can choose to be positive.
to see the positive in everything.
Okay. So
Could lead
because
to
what I
happiness.
do with this is I write it at the bottom of the screen like this. So it goes right across the screen. So I got to make sure it's gonna fit in this box here. All right. So let's say that again. So
Yo, just be positive.
just be positive.
Just do it.
Done. Just be positive. Like this. Wow. Okay, perfect. Whew, that took like 7 minutes, but it's okay. We got to hear the little music. We're chilling out, having a good time. It's all good. So once again, Chelsea, thank you so much for coming. Her Instagram tag is right here at the bottom as well. Please follow her. If you want to ask her more questions about cystic fibrosis, her condition, and how people can get treated for it, and how they can learn more about it.
And how you can help.
and how you can help raise awareness. Definitely, you can follow her. You can ask her any questions. She's always open to that. Just don't send her anything weird or awkward, because no one ever likes to get stuff in their DMs.
It's a disclaimer mainly to men.
Yeah, exactly. Just don't send her awkward things like, "Hey, I got a lung too." Like, we don't need to know all that kind of stuff. Let's just keep it to ourselves. And also, I'm going to put the links into the what's it called? Rise Above, Rise Up.
Born to Rise.
Born to Rise. Sorry, Born to Rise. That's coming up very soon, as well as in April, and as well as other information that it might be pertaining to cystic fibrosis that will be able to help out to educate you a little bit more about that. So we thank you very much, guys, for viewing. Again, always like, share, and comment below into the video. It's going to be tagged in Instagram, so please make sure you click the link in the bio, as well as check out this video, share it with your friends and family so that more people are aware, because she's definitely going to do it, I'm going to do it, and everyone else should do it as well. It's The Daily Hustle, episode number 5, with your boy Coach K and Chelsea. Thanks so much for watching. Peace!